Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dayakaram Dayakaram Dantam Dharma Pravartakam Pranamami Dayanandam Madacharya Param Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Bhadram Karneभिः शृणुयामदेवाः Bhadram पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागं सस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. We'll chant the first three verses together. Mano hi dvividham proktam. Together. Okay. Mano hi dvividham proktam. Shuddham cha shuddhameva cha. Ashuddham kama sankalpam. Shuddham kama vivarjitam. Mana eva manusyanam karanam bandha mokshayoh bandhaya vishayasaktam muktam nirvishayam smritam yato nirvishayasyasya manaso muktirishyate ato nirvishayam nityam manah karyam mumukshuna. Having a mind, we saw yesterday, that is heavily burdened with lots of inflexibility. Inflexibility means raga dvesha, but raga dvesha, inflexible raga dvesha in the form of binding desires. All kinds of binding desires. We saw what binding desires are. What is a binding desire? In the absence of the fulfillment of which one has a meltdown. That is called binding desire. Okay, meltdown is literally what it means. So the child says, I want this for breakfast, whatever it is, something, some cereal or whatever it is. Then the parents open the kitchen cupboard door and that chocolate flavored cereal is over. Then what happens? Now the child holds the whole household hostage. I want it right now. Well, sorry, you can't have it right now. Don't worry, child. We'll get it to darling. We'll get it for you tomorrow. No, I have to have it right now. But hopefully, this is not the response of the adult, correct? Adult also has favorite cereal. Maybe oatmeal. Yes, oatmeal, healthy. I want oatmeal for breakfast. Adult goes. Adult opens the cupboard. No oatmeal. What happens? Adult also starts to yell, scream. No. Adult will say, oh, it's just oatmeal. Forgot that it wasn't there. Because for the adult, this is not a binding desire in this example. The adult is able to be a little more flexible and say, I'll have a sandwich or I'll have whatever else might be there. I will make something for myself. There is a certain flexibility. But that is just a child's threshold. The child wants instant gratification because it has a small threshold of tolerance, and therefore it's largely intolerant of what? Its needs and desires not being met. But as one grows from a child to an adult, what happens? There is a little more room for little more tolerance. The threshold increases, hopefully. But then it's just a matter of comparison. Sooner or later, the adult also hits a roadblock. I can't do without this. I have to have this. Oh my God, this is not there. I have to have this. I won't live without this. How did you live for so long? I don't know, but now I can't live without this. Some people get very bent out of shape for small, small things. And I told you about the seatmate, my seatmate on the plane. Yes. So that is that is what is the problem. That kind of a mind is lending itself for handcuffs, means bondage. That kind of a mind is going and what should I say, allowing itself to be arrested and allowing itself to be permanently miserable. So, the attitude we have to cultivate is to have a sense of internal freedom where everything in life is like the missing box of chocolate cereal in the cupboard. Everything is like that. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. How can it be okay? Oh, this is what is happening. This is just the mind. It's just the mind means it's the storehouse, it's the warehouse of raga and dvesha. And the raga and dvesha are copyrighted by ahankara. Each one says, this is mine. Copyright means mine, ownership. The ahankara, you see how everything functions very, very in synergy. Ahankara copyrights the raga dvesha, stamps on it and say, puts a little C and a circle around the C. Copyrighted. And then the ahankara, if the raga dvesha do not get fulfilled, the ahankara takes it as a personal slight. You're not fulfilling my raga dvesha, that means what? You are insulting me. How? What is the connection? What is the connection between forgetting to go shopping and therefore not having a box of cereal, your favorite cereal, and then somebody forgetting to go shopping and you feeling insulted? What's the connection? Look at it objectively. No connection at all. No, absolutely no connection. There is no connection whatsoever. Still, the feeling is, I am insulted. You did this on purpose. And if you really cared, you would have fulfilled all my raga dvesha. This is how one thinks of marriage. Marriage one thinks of as somebody, a potential life partner who will fulfill this person's unfulfilled raga dvesha. And it doesn't work. Why? Because this person is feeling like that, but what about that person? That person is also seeing you as a potential fulfiller of raga dveshas. Yeah, but why can't we live happily ever after, each one fulfilling the other person's raga dvesha? No, doesn't work that way. Not so simple. Does not work like that way in a marriage, does not work like that way in the same way in a friendship either. Even in a friendship, it's not possible to do that. Because sometimes the other person's raga is your dvesha. How are you going to fulfill? And vice versa. You can't fulfill. Yeah. How will you fulfill? You are not able to fulfill at all. And so, therefore, This advice is given, make the mind nirvishaya. Nirvishaya doesn't mean stop thinking. That's literally what it means. Keep it free of objects, but we have understood that the mind cannot be always free of the objects of thought. Why? Because the mind's job is to think. In sleep, it is free of objects, but I can't be asleep all the time. And then in samadhi, it is free of objects. Samadhi is also not a permanent state. So, therefore, free of objects means free of asakti towards the object. What I drop are not the thoughts, but the asakti or the clinging connection to each and every thought. I can drop that connection. The thought comes and thought goes. How do I drop the connections? By two ways. One is, of course, through the study of Vedanta, and we'll see more of that. The other one is through the discipline of being in Sakshi state. Sakshita. Sakshi means observing. The observer, many times, what happens, most of the time, you start off as the Sakshi. Sakshi mode on. Press the button. Yes, I'm Sakshi. I'm noticing everything. I'm noticing even my own body. Yes, I have graduated to notice my mind. Yes, oh, here comes a thought. See, what a good Sakshi I am. And then I'm such a good Sakshi that I'm also noticing the thought that I am a good Sakshi. Up till now, well and good. But then sooner or later, a thought comes very sneakily. So very sneakily, a thought comes that somehow gets you from the Sakshi mode to participant mode, non Sakshi mode. Kind of a small thought, doesn't have anything to do with it. Will I ever get these Upanishads? Will I ever get the essence of the Bhagavad Gita? Enough. What happened? I forgot to observe that. I didn't forget to observe that. The force of that thought was too much. That was my threshold. Because this is a chronic issue for, let's say, this is a chronic issue for somebody. And what is the chronic issue? Hopelessness. So when those chronic issues hit in the form of thoughts, then one forgets to be in the Sakshi mode, and the non Sakshi mode is the default mode, which is always active. So, to constantly disrupt this state of affairs and not be discombobulated is to turn on the Sakshi mode. Another problem which people find with the Sakshi mode or difficulty is that they find it boring. Always I'm observing, yeah, there is a tree, yeah, there is a balcony, yeah, there is a door, yeah, there is a window, yeah, there is a ceiling, yeah, there is a floor, yes, there is a table. So, very boring. How to be like this all day long? This is just, I want to just go on a little trip. We saw what happens with the trip, right? Even the positive trip and the negative trip, we saw why not to do that, why not to be in that mode we saw. Because even a positive trip, how does it end? As a negative trip. Therefore, what we need to do is to not get into that place at all. Not get into that place, not go give even the time of day to those kinds of trips. No, but Sakshi mode is very boring. That's boring because you are finding it boring. If you are finding it boring, you are finding it boring because you don't know what it is going to lead to, and you don't know why you are doing it. And but truly, what is really boring is the regular thoughts that you have. Sakshi mode is not boring. Sakshi mode is very close to Atmajnana as you can get. So you can just like we have what is that new trend in dieting, intermittent fasting. Just like you have intermittent fasting, you can practice intermittent Sakshi mode. Nice. Ah, try that. Because every day, all the time, very boring and not possible also. No, 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 I just feel shackled and I want freedom and the mind wants to be free and the mind wants to fly somewhere and I can't hold it like this all the time. Observing, observing, observing. Why? I'm putting the mind in shackles. That is bondage for me, not the solution you're trying to give. Okay, try it for some time. Try it for an hour every day. Increase it to 1 hour 2 times a day. Increase it to 1 hour 3 times a day. And then before you know it, it will be mostly in Sakshi mode, the mind, and sometimes, of course, it will slip. And then by that time, you will have a hang of how to bring it back, how to bring it back to the Sakshi mode. And that mind which is in the Sakshi mode here is called Nirvishayam because it's not bothered by anything. You say, that's an observation. I'm feeling insulted. Isn't that interesting? Yesterday we talked about this. That is all bringing it back to Sakshi mode. Isn't that interesting? Very interesting. And then if the mind does not budge and says, no, it's all very insulting. It is really very much insulting. It's not just an observation. It's correct. I am being insulted. Then what is the next question to ask? So what? Very good. So what? In this whole world of 8 billion people rubbing against one another all the time, what's a few insults here and there? You throw some, you throw out some insults, and you get some. That's it. No, I don't like being insulted. Then ask the question, why? No, it doesn't feel good. Why? And it will always go back to some incident in childhood. Because I was neglected in childhood. Because somebody kept on scolding me and blaming me in childhood. Then you tell yourself, did I do anything wrong? Answer is yes, apologize. If the answer is no, then there is nothing to worry. It's a wrong insult. Okay, that's good. That's great that through this analysis you have understood that it's a wrong insult. So then it's on them. It's their misperception. It has nothing to do with you. If it has nothing to do with you, let it go. No, but they should correct their misperception. That's on them. That's not on you. That's their business. No, I want them to correct their misperception. And then you have become like that seatmate in the airplane, wanting to reseat the other gentleman sitting on the other side of the aisle because he might be eating something I am allergic to. She doesn't even know what he is eating. But just in case, we can't control the whole world. We can barely have a say over the ways of our own minds. And if I, through my practice, my sadhana, and my study of this Upanishad, become a low maintenance person, then it benefits me and it benefits everybody else also. Then nobody will insult you, really. When you're a low maintenance person, everybody wants to be your friend. Everybody wants to be around you because you are pleasant. You are not constantly looking at the person saying, what can you do for me? You are not sizing up the person. इससे क्या मिलेगा? What will I get out of this person? What will I get out of that person? How will I, deal with this one? What can this person get for me? You're not scoping out all the time. Sizing up people for seva. Okay, that is not the that is not the idea. But then, if you're not doing that, think of how, even if you're remaining just quietly within yourself, and if you are in fact, doesn't matter even if you're not helping others, you're already helping others. Why are you helping others? How are you helping others? Because you're minding your own business, you're minding the state of your own mind. And then after that, what? you are at peace. You're not trying to monitor other people's service towards you, other people's treatment towards you. And if they have a misperception, you don't have an inner pressure to go and disabuse them of their notion or correct their perception. Give them the freedom to have the perception. Why? Because you are strengthening yourself to not rely on that person's validation of you. This is how one grows. This is a very, a priceless Upanishad for this kind of a very elaborate method of self growth through the discipline of the mind. And in the third verse, we saw something which is very uh, so, the third one, we saw a very useful advice just for the sake of mumukshu. For the mumukshus, for the one interested in this knowledge, the best advice is what? Karyam karma mumukshuna. By the mumukshu, this must be done. What? Keep the mind free of hang-ups. This is what is called nirvishaya. Keep the mind free of hang-ups. There is something very beautiful about bringing the mind that is in everywhere just back to oneself. Recall the mind back. This is again the benefit of the Sakshi mode. The Sakshi mode, the mode of the observer, ensures that the mind is with me. And the mind is not roaming everybody else, trying to read other people's minds, trying to see what is that one thinking, what is this one's impression of me. Will this one be my friend? Will that one come to my aid? All these things I can suspend if not let go. When I am in the Sakshi mode, for the Mumukshu, the Sakshi mode is a safety mode where nothing can happen to the mind, and in fact, all that is there is a certain growth, a fast, hurtling growth towards Atmavidya, towards moksha. Exponential growth, where the growth is just, what is that? Multiplied exponentially. All you have to do is sit and observe. It is amazing. So, nirvishayam karyam manaha mumukshuna. So, the mind has to be kept free of hang-ups. Hang-ups about the Jagat, hang-ups about other jivas, hang-ups about oneself. The mind is kept free by bringing it back, bringing it back. It's like kite playing. You play flying the kite, and then there's a whole roll of that string. You unroll it, unfurl it, and you let it ride high, and then you find that other kite is coming. Other kite is coming to cut your kite. So the kite is the mind, and the thread is the observation, the ability to observe. So the ability to observe the mind is in my hand, and I can let the mind fly high as long as I am in the observer place. The other kite is coming to cut. What do? You reel it back in because you don't want it to be cut, because those strings have powdered glass on them. That's why they cut. That string, if you touch by mistake, you can cut your hand. And then people can be very competitive with this kite playing, kite flying festival, January 14th kite flying festival. So then, when you see there are many kites in the sky, and they are all coming for me. If your kite is cut, you lose. But you want to stay in the game, so you quickly bring it towards you. You shorten the string. You quickly call it back. You shorten the string, and then it is safe. Then, when they are little dispersed, you let it fly again a little higher. Like this, you do with the mind. You don't allow the other kites, whether the other kites are objects or other minds, doesn't matter. You don't allow them to cut this mind in the vicinity or to affect the mind in the vicinity. You protect the mind by keeping it free of hang ups. How to do that is given in verse number 4. Let us chant. निरस्त विषया संगम सन्निरुद्धं मनोहृदि यदायात्म यदायात्यात्मनो 1 minute, let me finish this. यदायात्मनो भावम् तदा तत्परमं पदम् तावदेव निरोद्धव्यम् यावद्धृति गतं क्षयम् एतज्ज्ञानं च ध्यानं च शेषो न्यायश्च विस्तरः. Yeah. So, in these two, a lot of important things are being talked about, needing a lot of explanation because on the face value, you can't make out much. So, Nirasta Vishaya Sangam. Nirasta means it has removed, it has gone. What has gone? Asakti for the Vishaya has gone. So, asakti for the Vishaya has gone when sanniruddham, samyak nishchayena ruddham manaha. When the mind is nicely disciplined and recalled back, like the kite. Like the high-flying kite, I recall the mind back repeatedly. Then what happens? Then the mind is said to be sanniruddham. Ruddh literally means, the root verb ruddh literally means to stop. The word nirodha also means stop. Like the second Yoga Sutra. What is that? Yogaha chitta vritti nirodha. It means stop. But here we can't take that meaning. We have to see contextually. Some, and the word ruddha, past passive participle, has two prefixes. Some means nicely and disciplined. Instead of stop, we have to say discipline. Nicely disciplined, and then nishchayena, certainly disciplined. Nicely and properly disciplined mind is called Vishaya Sangha Vinirbhuktam, that which is free of Vishaya Sangha, longing for the objects. A little bit of phala is given here. What happens when I discipline the mind is that I have more freedom as a human being. I have much more freedom. I have freedom to do what I want rather than be a slave to the mind and do what it wants all the time. That is what is truly boring, not observing the mind. What is truly boring is being a toy in the hand of the mind and the ahankara and the ragadveshas. Giving myself over and doing sashtanga namaskara to what? Ragas and dveshas. Full-fledged namaskara I do. Yes, you are in charge. Do whatever you want with me. Yes, I'm helpless. Yes, everything in the world bothers me. Let even more things bother me because I am really at your service. If I do this, then what will happen? this problem will come. All the time, the problem will come. And so therefore, we have to just be very, very, very present and vigilant. This vigilance is important because the raga dveshas are addictive in nature. Number one, we have to understand a few things about raga and dvesha. Strong preferences and what else? Prejudices. First thing we have to know about raga dvesha is as follows. What do we need to know is that there are many, 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 many of them. Far too many than we thought possible. In the beginning, we think, oh, I just need a few things in life, I'm okay. If I have a few things my way, I'm okay. But then those few things are actually not few things. If you start analyzing them, there are lots and lots and lots of things that I want my way. Number one. Number two, the raga dvesha, if you fulfill one or two of them, then all of the others start clamoring. What about me? Why are you partial to that one? Hey, I'm sitting here. I want some love. I want some attention. Fulfill me. They all start clamoring for fulfillment. And then, number three, most troublesome of all, when you start fulfilling raga dveshas, what happens is that they multiply. Ah. So, what happened to the idea? Oh, I'm just an easygoing person. I have just a few raga dvesha. Everybody will say that. Yeah. Everybody, if you ask them a questionnaire, sometimes these companies give out questionnaires to the prospective employee. Self-assessment questionnaire. What kind of a person are you? Easygoing. A. somewhat, somewhat easygoing. B. A little difficult. C. And then impossible to get along with. D. So if you are applying for a job in that organization and then you are given this questionnaire, what will everybody take? First one. Yeah. Even the one who wants to say number 4, D, will not say I am the most difficult person to get along with. Will not say. Why? Because I want the job. Either the person wants the job or sometimes one is just nicely deluded about their own personality, about their own ways of being. They don't know. They just think, yeah, I'm so easygoing. Why are people avoiding me? They see me and hide behind a bush. Why? Why are they hiding whenever I come out? They seem genuinely puzzled. Okay, so this is something very interesting. They seem genuinely puzzled because there's some disconnect. They don't understand how tiring their raga and dveshas are for everybody to deal with. They have no clue because of this disconnect. So everybody more or less thinks I'm just a generally easygoing person. But then these ragadveshas, they are all hiding, lurking in each and every pore. How many pores does the human skin have? We have to ask the dermatologist. We don't know. And so we don't know. But it is countless, endless. So that many ragadveshas are there. In every pore, there are that many ragadveshas. So that means if I water some of them, they proliferate. This number 3 of the fact of ragadveshas, we have to understand. They proliferate, they become even more than before. And number 4, final one, the more I fulfill the ragadveshas, the stronger and stronger they become. What is the first one? Let us recap them. What's the first one? Yeah. You think there are few. You think I'm easy to get along with each one things, but there are many of them. Number two. No, that was number three. What was number two? Yeah. You fulfill one, the others start feeling ignored and they all start to come out. And number three, then you start fulfilling many of them, and then you understand that they multiply. And number four, they not only multiply, they get stronger and stronger with each fulfillment. This is why it's very important to study all the, all our Puranic stories. In the Puranic stories, all this is illustrated very beautifully. In the Devi Mahatmya, all this is so beautifully illustrated. And in the Devi Mahatmya, we see that the goddess keeps waging war with all these asuras. And then, of course, people who do not know the richness of the tradition. People in academia say, oh, the goddess in Hindu theology is a warmongerer. This is so ridiculous, but this is how they look at it. But then, by the name of the asuras, we see what they are. And then Chanda, Munda, all this has to do with ego. The head, ego. And then there is one Raktabijasura. There's one fellow, terrible fellow. Yeah. And you can't kill him. Even the goddess had to find very subtle ways of killing him without shedding a single drop of blood. Because if you shed one drop of blood, if it touches the floor, then it is an ancient form of cloning. It would clone into 100 of him immediately. This is Ragadvesha. This is point 3 of Ragadvesha. They keep proliferating the more you indulge them. And hatred is also a form of indulgence. And so, like this, all our stories, the Satyanarayana Katha stories, the stories told at Satyanarayana Puja, the stories from the Puranas, all this illustrate the complex situation of the raga and the dvesha. And here what is told in verse number 4 is that this mind is given two sadhanas. The first sadhana is not participating in the ragadvesha, observing the ragadveshas, observing therefore the vishaya that cause ragadveshas, observing the people, getting into the place of observing. And the second part of the operation is the recalling of the mind. When the mind has gone and is in danger of being hijacked by adhibhautika, adhyatma, whatever, by any source, then I recall it back. Back means where? Let it sink into the heart. We are not talking of the real heart. We are talking of the spiritual heart, as in heart of the matter, a metaphoric heart. What is this heart about? We should spend some time seeing. The heart, if we study Ayurveda or if we study ancient Chinese medicine, acupuncture, etc., there the resting place of the heart is described, the resting place of the mind is described as the heart. In both these, in Ayurveda also I see this, in ancient Chinese medicine also I see this. What does the mind resting in the heart, what does it feel like? It's hard to describe because it's one's natural state of being. So it is a place where one says, I feel more and more like myself. Meaning, I am I am in a state of alignment. There is a sense of everything is okay. After yoga class, also one can experience this if the proper person is leading it. After meditation, also, after meditation, also, one feels one with oneself. One feels more at home with oneself. That is what is called letting the mind, allowing the mind, welcoming the mind to take rest in the heart. Otherwise, the mind, described in Ayurvedic medicine, if the Vata principle means what? The wind element in the body, if that gets disturbed or deranged, the mind is all over the place. Like it happened for Arjuna in the first chapter. He was feeling all over the place. He was thinking this, he was thinking that, he could not focus. So then the Ayurveda says that certain things should be avoided. Certain things should be avoided. Sevanam, the eating of certain things should be avoided. Airy, light foods you don't eat when the condition of vata predominates. Vata is very important for the mind to bring it into balance. Otherwise, it's just all over the place. One is confused. One cannot focus. So if that kind of a mind is there, then then we avoid things like potatoes, things like cabbage, potatoes, broccoli, what else? Cauliflower, all these things we avoid. Avoid means take very little once in a while. That's the thing. And all these other things like processed food, very bad for the mind. You see, you are what you eat. And this is very true. You are what you eat. This is very, very true. And then the mind immediately responds. The body immediately responds because every body is really wants to be in a certain kind of a stasis, in a certain kind of a balance. Every mind also wants to be in a certain kind of a balance. It will respond. And also, if the vata is very upset, the last thing to do is to watch videos on YouTube and TikTok. Yeah. You think, oh, I find it very calming. You think, but it's not calming at all. For a vata ridden mind, it's the least service you can do. Instead, lie down calmly. Lie down calmly in one place, even if you don't feel like meditating. That's much better. Go for a stroll, a walk, watch the sunset, watch the moon rise. Do something nice like that and keep out any kind of restlessness. This is not just for people with difficult vata to manage, but for everybody who is a mumukshu. This is very important to keep the mind in good, in a happy place. No, but that's not my problem. My mind is not going all over the place. In fact, it has problem taking off. It has sunk beneath the heart. It's being digested by the stomach now. What should I do? I don't have to bring it down. I have to bring it up. Ah, that is what the tamas being out of balance. When the tamas is out of balance, there is forget about the mind. With everything in general, there is a sinking feeling all the time. Sinking, sinking, sinking. Here too, we can help ourselves with diet. Avoid oily things. Avoid heavy to digest things. Keep it light. And the kapha kinds of people, they have to really make a sankalpa to exercise. It doesn't come naturally. You have to say, okay, one finger out. Oh, good, I'm moving. Fantastic, I'm moving. You have to make a sankalpa, one foot now in front of the other. Yippee! You have to give yourself lots of rewards, not in terms of food, but other things. And then you have to put the next foot forward, next foot forward. In this way, you slowly, same thing with the eating, food, habits. And then, if kapha is the problem, then for such a mind, you avoid what? Sad movies. Oh my God. You avoid all these kinds of things where everybody is crying all the time. Because why? Then you will also feel like crying afterwards. Sad videos, sad movies, sad stories, sad saga of any kind. You avoid, you keep the mind pure. No, my mind is neither all over the place, nor is it sinking into the stomach. I have a different problem altogether. What is that? I'm angry with everybody all the time. This is what? Pitta. Pitta derangement causes the mind to be high strung and irritable. In fact, the mind is scratching itself. Who can I go off on? Who can I go off on? I need a nice screaming. I need to really just find somebody. This one looks like a this harmless goat, bakra. Let me catch hold of this. That's why it's called scapegoat. Okay? Yeah. Let me catch hold of this scapegoat and yell at them, and I'll feel better. How long will I feel better? Only for 5 minutes. Then I'll start looking for somebody else. And for such people, avoid spicy food. Easier said than done in our kitchen, but that's why there are boiled vegetables given. So mix the boiled vegetables along with the regular vegetables, and then the spice content comes down. Oh, but spicy food is so exciting. See, this is the problem. I don't know why Bhagavan made this kind of a setup at all. So, if vata is the problem, then such people, if I am a vata type of person and my mind is all over the place, then I should not like these vegetables which I'm supposed to avoid. But the vata person loves those kinds of vegetables. The pitta person loves fried food all the time. And the kapha person and the pitta person wants spicy food all the time. Alas, it's a very difficult setup, but we have to manage, we have to overcome. And then, if you don't know what your dosha is, if you don't know what is that is going out of balance, we try to have a tridoshik lifestyle. Tridoshya lifestyle means keep all the doshas in balance. What's the harm? No harm. Keep all the dosha, no excess of anything, not too much of anything, not too much of activity, not too much of rest, not too much of going, not too much of coming, not too much of eating, not too much of fasting. Just keep everything in balance, and then the mind will be also in balance. And for a very important part of kapha lifestyle, kapha pravritti, if there is too much of kapha, too much of pitta, it's wearing white color really helps, really helps. That is why we have the dress code. It's all thought out. It's not just out of some fancy. Then what happens is that I lend myself to change. I'm no longer resisting the change. I lend myself. I allow the change to take place. Some transformation must be there. If you go back 3 months from now, everybody will wonder what is it that you have studied? And they have to see, if you just rattle off, Amritabindu Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 18, and then Viveka Chudamani, meditation, is that. They're not going to be impressed. They are closely looking to not what you know, but how you conduct yourself. And that is where the change has to happen. And that change will happen if I allow it to transform me. And these are all lifestyle things for letting the mind abide in the heart. And that is the best gift you can give to yourself. The best gift you can give yourself is to feel more and more like yourself every day. And what is this yourself? Cheerful, compassionate, accommodative, non demanding, and objective. This is what you are. This is your nature. I am a non demanding person. I may not be, but I want to be that. I want to be a non demanding person. I want to be a cheerful person, relatively cheerful. In the face of calamity, it's easy to be cheerful if everything is going my way. And if all the things I like are being prepared in the kitchen, then it's very easy to be cheerful. But in the face of adversity, in the face of my ragas, dveshas not being fulfilled, I still am cheerful. There's not a greater gift than that. And the cheerful person is naturally accommodative in nature. Cheerful within, accommodative without. Accommodative means what? The other person is not so cheerful. What do? I gloat. Haha. I am there, you are not. Yes? In fact, the best thing to do when you are confronted, when you are in a cheerful place, and the other person you confront is in that kind of a place, is to see yourself in them. No, but I'm not like that. Yeah, for 1 minute right now, you're not like that. What were you yesterday? What were you a few months ago? What were you before you encountered Vedanta? That itself makes me stop in my interaction, stop being a reactive person. That makes me stop, and then I have compassion. Cheerfulness always goes with kindness because I see myself. I see myself a few months ago, a few hours ago, I was just like that. Because of some grace, I have been able to allow the mind to just come and rest in its place. And what differentiates between you from me, is nothing, just a stroke of luck. Stroke of luck is Bhagavan, Daivam. Some grace, I have understood that this is the way to be. This is how I should be. I have understood. And so, with whoever I encounter in a lesser situation, I'm able to say, okay. I don't try to monitor them. Say, okay. That doesn't mean I have to sit and take care of them. No. Just you can let go. You can avoid them if you want. You don't have to always be around. But you don't avoid them with, oh my God, get away from me. No. You understand that the world is big enough for everybody to be there. Everybody is here. In 8 billion people. 8 billion complaining people, Mother Earth, Dharani, is accommodating every single day. Yeah. 8 billion human jivas. Only human jivas are the problems, others don't complain. So, if Mother Earth can so patiently accommodate the entire population on Earth without saying a single word, I can at least accommodate a few people every day who encounter me. So, this is An accommodative person, a cheerful person is an accommodative person, is a kind and compassionate person. And then finally is an objective person. Objective person means you understand that the other persons that you encounter who may not be in the same place as you deserve your compassion because just like you have a background, they also have a background. And that background, you may not know. You don't want to know the background, but some background is there, some difficulty is there. And that's why they are behaving like that. You give them the benefit of doubt and say, it's okay. You be the bigger person. Because when you are the bigger person, you are in a win win situation. First win, they will have a renewed respect for you because even though they are behaving badly, they many times they know they shouldn't be doing what they are doing. And when you don't retaliate, you earn their respect and their friendship perhaps. And the second thing which is very important is you grow, which is the second win. It's a win-win situation. And so learning the art of allowing the mind to rest in the heart, where its place originally is. And when we say heart, don't look for the left side of the chest cavity and all that. No, we're talking proverbially, metaphorically. Don't take it literally. And so, allowing the mind to find its resting place in the heart. Sanniruddham mano hridi. Hridi means in the heart. Then that is the best gift you can give yourself. That is the best gift you can give to the path that you are on. It opens up all kinds of possibilities for transformation. More we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashyate. Shanti Shanti Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.